All right, folks, Miami's supposed to be all sunshine and beaches and all that, right? But today it feels like someone swapped out the thermostat with Anchorage. I might need mittens just to grab my cafecito this morning.
Yeah, you're telling me.
So while we're all bundled up, let's heat things up with a deep dive into something that's been making a lot of buzz in the car rental world lately. Turo, we're talking about how to pick the perfect cars to maximize those earnings, especially for those of you thinking of starting your own rental ventures.
Picking the right vehicles, that's key. You really hit the nail on the head there. Choosing the right vehicles can make or break your success, especially for newcomers. You need to know what you're doing.
So we've got some insights to help us out with that, right?
Yeah, we've got this great article here, Top 10 Cars to Maximize Earnings on Turo. It highlights some unexpected winners and busts, some common myths about what renters are actually looking for.
It's like picking socks almost. You got to understand what's in demand, what holds its value, and what's going to bring in those steady returns.
Exactly.
So what are some of the surprising stars on this list?
Well, the first one might raise some eyebrows, the Fiat 500.
The Fiat 500?
Yeah. Remember those cute little Italian cars that Fiat stopped making a few years back?
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Turns out they're a gold mine on Turo, pulling in an average annual ROI of 178.2%.
Really? 178%?
Yeah.
So nostalgia can be profitable.
Who knew?
I guess people are looking for something unique and fun, especially if they're on vacation. They want that Instagrammable experience. So it's not just about practicality. It's about tapping into a certain vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It's like renting a vintage Vespa instead of a generic scooter. You're paying for the experience, the feeling, the story it tells.
I like that, the story it tells.
Yeah, and that's something to keep in mind when you're building your Turo fleet. Now, another unexpected winner is the Chrysler Voyager.
The minivan.
Yeah, the minivan. But think about it. Families, groups, airport runs, they need space and reliability. And the Voyager delivers that at a price point that makes sense for both renters and owners.
I see your point. It's not flashy, but it's practical and dependable, and that translates to consistent bookings. The article mentions an average ROI of 150.1%. That's not chump change.
No, it's not.
It's like having a workhorse in your stable. It's going to pull its weight day in and day out.
That's a good way to put it. And then you've got the Kia Rio, a champion of affordability and dependability. Not going to win any beauty contests, but it sips, fuel doesn't break down, and renters love it for its simplicity. Plus, for owners, it's low maintenance and delivers a solid 138.5% ROI. Sometimes boring is beautiful in the car rental business.
Yeah, it's like the old saying, slow and steady wins the race.
That's right.
Speaking of which, the Toyota Corolla, the epitome of reliability, is also on this list.
Ah, the Corolla. A legend for a reason.
They really are.
This article even cites anecdotal evidence of owners with older Corollas, ones they've already paid off, raking in $700 to $800 a month consistently. Talk about passive income.
That's awesome. So you've got these unexpected winners like the Fiat, then these workhorses like the Voyager and Rio, and then the classics like the Corolla that just never go out of style, like diversifying your portfolio, right?
Precisely. A mix of cars that cater to different needs and budgets is crucial for long-term success. Now let's step into the realm of luxury and performance where things get a bit spicier. The Audi S5 Cabriolet, for instance, thrives in sunny climates like ours.
Yeah, imagine cruising down Ocean Drive in a sleek Audi convertible. That's an experience people are willing to pay for, especially tourists visiting Miami. But is the higher price tag justified for a rental business owner?
That's the question, isn't it? The S5 Cabriolet boasts a 118.2% ROA, which is impressive, but you've got to factor in the higher initial investment maintenance costs and the potential for wear and tear. You're targeting a more discerning clientele, so expectations are higher.
So it's a calculated risk and maybe not the best choice for someone just starting out. You need a deeper understanding of your target market and the willingness to invest a bit more upfront. It's like opening a high-end boutique versus a casual clothing store. You're catering to different tastes and budgets.
Exactly. Now, if you're talking high-end, we can't ignore the Porsche Panamera. This luxury sedan is all about prestige and performance, attracting a clientele willing to shell out a premium for a taste of the good life.
Yeah, but I bet the insurance premiums alone are enough to make you sweat.
They can be, but the Panamera commands a 75.6% ROI and average annual earnings of almost $30,000, according to this article.
Wow.
That's a serious chunk of change. It's a niche market for sure, but a profitable one if you play your cards right.
Okay, so we've got the cute, the practical, and the luxurious. What else is on this list that might surprise our listeners?
Well, we've got a couple of SUVs, starting with the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. It's stylish, spacious, and offers that European flair that many renters find appealing. Plus, it boasts a respectable 76.1% ROI, hitting that sweet spot between practicality and a touch of luxury.
I'm noticing a trend here. It seems like finding that balance is key. You want cars that are desirable, dependable, and don't break the bank when it comes to maintenance.
Absolutely. Now, the other SUV on the list is a true American icon. the Jeep Wrangler.
So the Jeep Wrangler, yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. I was at the beach the other day, and like every other car was a Wrangler. I swear they're everywhere in Miami.
Yeah.
So I guess it's that whole adventurous, outdoorsy vibe that people associate with the city.
It's a smart choice for a place like Miami. You've got the beaches, the Everglades, those weekend trips down to the Keys. People want a vehicle that can handle both city streets and off-road excursions, and the Wrangler delivers that in spades. Plus, let's not forget its iconic status. It's instantly recognizable and has a cool factor that attracts renters.
Yeah, it's like renting a piece of Americana. You're not just getting from point A to point B. You're making a statement. It's about the experience, the feeling. So it seems like the Wrangler ticks a lot of boxes for both renters and owners. But what are some things that prospective Turo entrepreneurs need to consider beyond just the type of car? What are some of the hidden costs or potential pitfalls that they might not be aware of?
That's a great question. A lot of people get excited about the potential earnings, but don't always factor in the less glamorous aspects of running a car rental business. One of the biggest things is the cost of ownership. It's not just about the sticker price of the vehicle. You've got insurance, maintenance, repairs, cleaning, and even depreciation to think about.
Yeah, those things can really add up, especially if you're not careful. It's like those home renovation shows where they always go over budget because they forgot about the plumbing or the electrical work
Yeah, exactly. You've got to have a realistic picture of the total cost of ownership before you even start.
before you even start.
And that's where choosing the right cars becomes even more crucial. You want vehicles that are reliable, relatively inexpensive to maintain and hold their value well. Going back to our earlier examples, a Kia Rio is going to be a lot less expensive to maintain than, say, a Porsche Panamera.
Yeah, you're not going to be shelling out thousands of dollars for a tune-up every few months.
Exactly. So reliability and affordability go hand in hand when you're building a Turo fleet. But what about depreciation? How can owners minimize the impact of that?
Yeah, depreciation, that's a big one.
It's a tricky beast. Generally, cars that are known for their durability and resale value tend to fare better. Think Toyota, Honda, those kinds of brands. They have a reputation for lasting, and that translates to a slower rate of depreciation.
It's like investing in real estate. You want a property that's going to appreciate in value, not lose its worth over time.
Exactly. Now, beyond the financial aspects, there's also the whole customer service side of things. Presentation and amenities can make a big difference in attracting renters and getting those five-star reviews.
So you mean like making sure the car is spotless, smells fresh, and has all the little extras that people appreciate?
Exactly. First impressions matter, and a clean, well-maintained car shows that you care about your customers. Little things like phone charges owe cords, or even the bottle of water can go a long way in enhancing the renter's experience.
It's like staying at a hotel. You remember the little touches, the attention to detail. It makes you feel valued as a customer. So it's not just about providing a car, it's about providing an experience.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the ever-changing landscape of the car rental industry. Technology is constantly evolving, new players are emerging, and customer expectations are shifting.
Right, you can't just rest on your laurels. You need to stay ahead of the curve, adapt to new trends, and be willing to innovate. It's like the restaurant business. You always need to be coming up with new dishes, new concepts to keep people coming back for more.
That's a great analogy. Now, one of the biggest trends we're seeing is the rise of electric vehicles. As EVs become more affordable and accessible, we're going to see more and more of them on platforms like Turo.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially here in Miami where people are becoming more eco-conscious. Plus, EVs are just cool. They have that futuristic, tech-savvy appeal. But for a rental business owner, are there any specific considerations when it comes to offering EVs?
Well, one of the big things is infrastructure. Do you have access to charging stations? Can you easily manage the charging process for your renters?
Right, because you can't just plug them into a regular outlet like your phone. It's a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. You need the right equipment and the right setup. And then there's the issue of range anxiety. Some renters might be hesitant to rent an EV if they're worried about running out of juice in the middle of nowhere.
That's a good point. So you need to educate your customers about the car's range, the availability of charging stations, and maybe even provide some tips for maximizing battery life. It's like renting out a boat. You need to give people a quick lesson on how to operate it before you send them off on their own.
That's a great comparison. You're not just handing over the keys, you're providing guidance and support to ensure a smooth and enjoyable experience.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about EVs, the importance of customer service, and the need to stay ahead of the curve. What are some other challenges that Turo hosts might face?
One of the biggest challenges is managing renter expectations. You're dealing with people from all walks of life, and sometimes those expectations might not align with reality.
Yeah, I can imagine some people might expect a brand new luxury car for the price of a budget rental, or they might be careless with the vehicle and cause damage.
Exactly. That's why clear communication is key. Be upfront and transparent about the condition of your car, the mileage limits, and any other relevant details. Provide clear instructions on how to operate the vehicle, and don't be afraid to address any concerns or questions the renter might have.
It's all about setting expectations and building a relationship of trust with your customers. Transparency goes a long way in preventing misunderstandings and potential disputes.
Absolutely. And then there's the issue of wear and tear. Even with the best renters, accidents happen, doors get dinged, seats get stained, things break.
It's inevitable, right? It's like owning a rental property. You have to factor in some wear and tear.
You do. So how do you protect yourself and an owner? Having a solid insurance policy is crucial. Make sure you understand Turo's insurance coverage and consider getting additional coverage if necessary.
Right, because you don't want to be left holding the bag if something major happens.
Exactly. It's about managing risk and protecting your investment. And when it comes to wear and tear, it's also important to have a system in place for inspecting your vehicles before and after each rental document, any existing damage, take photos, and be thorough in your checks.
It's like creating a paper trail. You want to be able to prove the condition of the car before and after the rental period.
Exactly. It protects both you and the renter. Now, speaking of protecting yourself, let's talk about the importance of screening your renters.
You don't want to just hand over the keys to anyone. How do you make sure you're renting to responsible individuals?
Turo has a built-in rating system that allows owners to see feedback from previous rentals. Pay attention to those ratings and reviews. Look for renters with a history of positive feedback, and don't be afraid to decline requests from those with a questionable track record.
It's like choosing a roommate. You want to make sure you're living with someone who's respectful, responsible, and tidy. You want to avoid those nightmare scenarios where you end up with a trashed apartment and a missing security deposit.
Exactly. Choosing your renters carefully can save you a lot of headaches and potential financial losses down the road.
So it seems like running a successful Turo business is about more than just picking the right cars.
Oh, absolutely. It's about understanding the market, managing your costs, providing excellent customer service, and protecting yourself from potential risks.
It's a whole business.
It is, but for those who are willing to put in the work, it can be incredibly rewarding.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from the excitement of choosing the right cars to the less glamorous realities of managing a rental business. It seems like it can be a rewarding but also demanding endeavor.
It definitely takes effort and attention to detail, but for those who are willing to put in the work, Turo can be a great way to generate income, build a business, and even connect with people from all over the world.
It's like any entrepreneurial venture, you need to be passionate, resourceful, and willing to adapt to challenges.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the fun aspect. You're dealing with cars, you're connecting people with unique experiences, and you're essentially your own boss.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been cruising through the world of Turo, exploring everything from picking the perfect cars to navigating the twists and turns of running your own car rental venture. Now let's shift gears and talk about fine-tuning your strategy for maximum earning potential.
It's like taking a car from stock to souped up. We've got the basics, but now it's about those extra tweaks and strategies that can really boost your bottom line.
Okay, so what are some of the pro-level moves that Turo hosts can use to gain an edge?
One strategy that's often overlooked is offering delivery and pickup services. Think about it, convenience is king these days. People are used to having everything delivered right to their doorstep, from groceries to dry cleaning. Why not rental cars?
Especially here in Miami, where people are all about that hassle-free lifestyle. You're on vacation, you just got off a long flight. The last thing you want to do is navigate a rental car counter and wait in line.
Right.
Being able to have the car delivered straight to your hotel or Airbnb, that's a game changer. But from a logistical standpoint, how does a host manage that effectively?
There are a few ways to approach it. Some hosts build the delivery fee into their rental rates, while others offer it as an add-on service. You'll need to factor in the time and cost of transportation, especially if you're covering a wide area. But in competitive markets like Miami, offering that extra level of convenience can really set you apart and justify a premium price.
It's like those premium ride-sharing services that offer luxury vehicles and door-to-door service. You're paying for the convenience, the personalized experience. So delivery is one way to level up. What else can hosts do to boost their earnings?
Think about bundling add-ons or creating themed packages. For example, if you're in Miami, offer a beach bum package that includes beach chairs, towels, a cooler, maybe even a surfboard, or a nightlife package with VIP access to clubs and a designated driver service.
Ooh, I like that. Those are good ideas.
Yeah.
It's all about adding value and catering to specific interests or needs. And there's those all-inclusive resort packages that bundle meals, drinks, and activities. You're creating a one-stop shop for the renter, making their experience more enjoyable and memorable. And from a business standpoint, you're increasing your revenue per rental.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of marketing and branding. Turo is a competitive marketplace, so you need to make your listings stand out. Invest in high-quality photos of your vehicles, write compelling descriptions that highlight their unique features and amenities, and showcase your stellar customer service skills.
It's like creating a mini brand for your rental business. You want to have a logo, a color scheme, a consistent message that resonates with your target audience. It's about building a reputation for quality, reliability, and exceptional service. You want people to choose your cars not just because of the vehicle itself, but because of the entire experience you offer.
Absolutely. Now, while we're on the topic of standing out in the future, let's touch on some potential challenges that the car sharing industry might face. One of the big ones is regulatory uncertainty. As car sharing becomes more popular, cities and governments are going to have to figure out how to regulate it effectively.
Right, because you've got concerns about traffic congestion, parking availability, the impact on traditional rental car companies, and even safety regulations. It's a whole new set of issues that lawmakers are grappling with.
Exactly. And another challenge is insurance. As car sharing becomes more widespread, insurance companies are going to have to adapt their policies to cover the unique risks associated with this type of activity. It's a whole new ballgame for them, and there are still a lot of gray areas to be ironed out.
It's like the early days of the internet when lawmakers were trying to figure out how to regulate this new, uncharted territory. It took time for laws and regulations to catch up with the technology.
That's a great analogy. And then, of course, there's the wild card of autonomous vehicles. Self-driving cars could completely disrupt the car-sharing industry, either by creating new opportunities or by posing new challenges.
Yeah, it's hard to predict exactly how it will play out, but it's definitely something that Turo hosts and anyone involved in the car-sharing space needs to keep a close eye on. It's like watching a tsunami approaching in slow motion. Something big is coming, but you're not sure exactly what the impact will be.
Exactly. But the key takeaway here is adaptability. The car-sharing industry is constantly evolving, so be prepared to adjust your strategies, embrace new technologies, and always prioritize the customer experience.
It's like surfing. You need to be able to ride the waves, adjust to the changing conditions, and stay balanced if you want to stay afloat.
That's a perfect analogy. Now, before we wrap up, let's circle back to something we touched on earlier, the importance of market research. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned Turo host, understanding your target audience and the dynamics of your local market is crucial.
Right, because a car that's a hit in Miami might be a flop in Montana. You need to know what kind of cars are in demand, what the going rental rates are, what the seasonal trends are, and what your competitors are offering.
Exactly. And luckily, Turo provides a fantastic tool called the Calculator that can help you with this research. It allows you to plug in different car models, locations, and rental periods to get an estimate of your potential earnings.
So it's like a crystal ball for Turo hosts.
Pretty much.
You can see into the future and make informed decisions based on real-time data.
Precisely. And speaking of informed decisions, let's leave our listeners with some parting advice. If you're thinking about dipping your toes into the Turo waters, start by doing your homework. Research the market, crunch the numbers, and talk to other hosts to get their insights and advice.
It's like any business venture. You need to have a solid plan, a clear understanding of the risks and rewards, and the passion and dedication to make it work.
Well said. And remember, the car-sharing industry is all about connecting people with unique experiences. So focus on providing exceptional service, creating memorable moments for your renters, and building a brand that stands for quality and reliability.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the exciting world of Turo. We've covered a lot of ground, from choosing the right cars to navigating the future of this dynamic industry.
We hope you found this journey informative and inspiring, and that you're now equipped with the knowledge and insights to turn your car into a source of income and adventure.
And remember, even all those rare chilly days in Miami, the road to financial freedom and entrepreneurial success is paved with a little ingenuity, a dash of customer service, and a well-chosen set of wheels. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.